And now, coming out of Cleveland, Tennessee, I give you the Normal Dudes Podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have the busiest man in MMA fighting ever. All of them out of anybody. He's a fighter, professional fighter. He's a matchmaker. He's a coach. He's a father. He does it all. We got Billy Swanson on today, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, man, we appreciate you taking the very valuable time out of your day to come and do it, brother.
I would definitely come more if, I mean.
Yeah, you're a busy man.
Yeah,
we
dude.
get it, bro. We get it. You are definitely a busy dude.
And honestly, it seems like you're about to get busier. I don't know if y'all are actually kicking up more events, but it seems like y'all are going to start doing more of those events.
So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because I kind of learned in business, man. You don't say it out loud until it's fully kind of locked in because the people who want to bring it down, then you're just kind of giving them the window. But there's some big things coming with ANF, like potential, venue / city, like we might go to another city and,
change it up
a little bit with that. I am currently looking for another like indoor / outdoor venue for like a September event, because I'd like to run another event like we did in March.
Yeah.
But I'd like a little bit more covering so that it's not as reliant on the weather.
Yeah.
Because that had me a nervous wreck.
And towards the end of that, it got cold, really cold, and I was like, golly, I can't imagine being out there without no shirt on fighting right now.
Well, so that goes back to just like venue complications. So I would like to have a venue that we could run an event at late January, early February, and so that's also what we're kind of in the shops for to locate and figure out. But that's kind of why we did that. I didn't want to rush an outdoor event before we had everything figured out and all that. And I kind of had to with that one, but it still turned out great.
I loved it.
Yeah, there was
awesome. It was sick.
900 people, I think, in attendance.
Yeah.
So and all the fights were great. And really, it didn't get cold until the last.
It was the last two fights.
Last two fights.
It was cold. The last two fights. That's what I remembered the best. For sure, the last two fights, it was cold. But overall, great event. I thought it was a great event.
So that's like I said, I'd like to find something that's got a little bit more covering and closure.
Yeah.
To where say it was raining or something, like all the vendors and everybody could pretty much
have a place to go.
Yeah, be under a covering and not it potentially just completely shit on the event.
Yeah. The other thing is you've recently had a good little TKO in a professional boxing match. So
that was fun.
Yeah.
It was a exhibition match. It turned out to be because I don't know
issues.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I wasn't on the inside of
but that just goes with so when you add pros in on fights, so the state requires you to submit certain medicals and certain fees and all this stuff a week before the event. And some people, just because they quote unquote call themselves a pro fighter, are very procrastination, filled, and they don't really get shit done. And so that's the thing, being a pro, you have to present yourself as a professional. It's state of Tennessee, it's nothing crazy. It's you got to have blood work. You got to have that state's Hep B, Hep C, HIV free. You got to have a dilated eye exam and a physical. And then you pay a $75 fee. So it's really not a lot.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Some of these guys will book fights and not submit their stuff. And that was kind of the thing was the dude I actually ended up having the exhibition against. We were originally looking at fighting. Well, he wasn't allowed to get cleared by the state to be licensed. And so then we looked elsewhere. Guy accepted the fight. Then just ghosted, didn't submit shit to the state,
God, dude.
didn't reply to the promoter. And then, so luckily, you know, the guy that I was originally looking at stepped up on short notice. It was about like a week notice.
Yeah.
We went out there at a boxing exhibition. He came at me.
Yeah, he did.
He was,
he hit you a couple
we
times.
watched it. We watched the whole thing, bro.
Yeah.
We
I bought tickets and I damn watched it because I didn't get to go, but.
Well, so like, you know,
dang it.
and it's not to say that I wouldn't do more boxing in the future. Like, you know, I'm open to it. Like,
what's wild about it was like, okay, you're an MMA fighter. That's what you do with the background of wrestling. So like, you want to take this to the mat, in my opinion. You would want to take this to the mat most of the time. And then you're going to be like, well, I'll take this first boxing match as a professional.
Yeah.
Well, so
that is insane to me, Billy. You just want to take a fight no matter what, bro. What are we doing?
That's kind of the situation I'm in, man. It's like,
I know.
You just got to pick what you can get.
Well, so like MMA fights are, you know, like just to give a bit of backstory, like most of the offers I'm getting, I get called on a week notice, 2 week notice. Hey, here's this guy who's 9-1. We're going to pay you $500 for making weight, $500 if you win. And you've got to get licensed in the state and submit blood work, a physical, an eye exam, a CT scan, an EKG.
Golly, dude.
$2,500.
And I have no, keep in mind, I have no insurance.
Yeah.
So like all that is paid out of pocket.
Even if you've had insurance, most of that wouldn't be covered.
Yeah. Not just for fighting.
So it's like, depending on the state that you're in, you got to get different tests. And like, given those tests will last you for a year or 2 years, you're talking about if you don't have the sponsorship to cover those damn tests, that's coming out of pocket.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let me go fight this damn near undefeated guy who's this close to the UFC for negative $2,000.
Yeah, that's not
like,
worth it.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like some of the positions that I've been in the past couple of years in my career is like, now given some of the offers that I've gotten might have been a fair offer and I just wasn't ready because they called me on 2 weeks notice. And like, you're expecting somebody to sit here and wait around the phone for 365 days out of the year and be like, I'm at my peak.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, if you understand peaking yourself as an athlete, that is physically impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do strength and conditioning. You've got to.
There's a lot to it. Yeah.
Like, and so it's like, yes, you can stay training and stay active, but it's truly peaking yourself and being the best you can step out there at.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
Is different.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like, that's kind of some of those offers, or it's like, hey, you know, we got you a good fight where it's like, you could fight this guy, but I book it a week out, a month out, fight gets canceled, you know? So it's like,
it's gotta be frustrating.
It is.
Well, and then also, or the times that I've had, like, you know, before Bellator went out, you know, I was offered different people like Jack Swagger, Davion Franklin, some of these guys who were already making these big paychecks.
Yeah.
And these were guys that were ranked top 10 in Bellator. And these guys declined me. And I'm the nobody that's getting paid chump change. And it's like, bro, one, they declined me because I'd beat their ass. But two, like, it's like, I'm trying to provide for my family.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, people wonder why I haven't been as active. Well, it's like, okay, go in debt fighting or open a gym and start a promotion and at least be able to pay for my family, feed my family, put clothes on them. And, you know, and then now once finances are kind of figured out, I can get active.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, that boxing fight, like I didn't make a killing off of it, but I wasn't expecting to.
No. And
like, and I'm not arrogant in thinking that, you know, I've got to come fight for 10 grand, but if you're wanting me to fight a fucking 10-0 undefeated guy, and it requires $3,000 to get fucking licensed, you know, like don't offer me $250 for the guy. Like it's just, that's almost a bitch smack in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
So we've got a lot to cover. I'm trying to keep it moving, bro. We've covered the fight that you were in, kinda. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the last fight and what's coming up. So the last fights we had 9 fights, packed the house out with 9 fights. Pretty impressive. I was impressed with it. I don't know if y'all were, but I was pretty excited to see the turnout for 9 fights. And the next one, do you think it's going to be more fights? Do you think it's going to be less fights? Do you think the house is going to be just as packed?
So,
or do you care? Are you just making the best fights you can? And then
I'm very appreciative of the support of, like, you know, a lot of people said that we couldn't do what we do.
Yeah.
When we first started roughly 3.5 years ago, people were like, to have an event, you got to have pro fights on there. Amateurs won't be able to have exciting fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. They even told me like kickboxing was not a good draw. And like,
That's
it's
crazy.
like, bro, it's a fucking stand-up striking fight. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
that's intense.
Like,
It's fun to watch.
You know, like, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of the things that we do, I was told couldn't be done. Like budgeting $35,000 on an all-AMI show. You know, they were like, no, you gotta scrape every penny. You can't spend this extra money. I'm like,
shit's
no,
obviously
bro, like,
the best I've seen though.
Oh yeah.
And it's because like we were talking about this a little bit before we started, like some of these other promoters and stuff lack originality and creativity. And so like they overly are reliant on needing a fighter that has a big following to sell the card. And not to say that like that's not a benefit if you do have one of those fighters.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Wallace. Like he's
got a huge following.
Dude's got a huge following. He sells good tickets. He gets his good ticket commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, but at the same time, you also have to be able to have a crowd.
You got to be self-reliant. Yeah.
And you know, and like, man, one of the other shows that I kind of ran out of Chattanooga because they did shit the wrong way, so to say, was, you know, like that was one of their things. It's like they didn't really treat fighters good, and they had all the local fighters kind of locked in. And man, if you look at really from the beginning, there's only a handful of gyms that are local that have put their fighters on the card. And that's kind of that reason, because they're locked into that old show and that let me get these not fair fights, but bum fights to where we can paper records and, you know, like we can call ourselves the fighter and be the 5-0, but not really be 5-0.
We're going to get the fighter in here that sells the most tickets, and we're going to paper he's going to have a good record. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the hometown hero, all of that. But then you end up with
up with the guy.
Crappy fights.
Well, you end up with crappy fights. You end up with a lot of quick finishes. Mm-hmm. You end up with just unfair matchups where it's like, you know, this guy's, you know, and sometimes on short notice that kind of happens.
Yeah.
You're just looking for a fight to fill, and hey, maybe this guy steps in and he might have been more of a monster than the original matchup. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like most of these original matchups that some of these shows look for, like I said, they give these fighters cans, and cool. You get 6-0, 8-0, 10-0, go pro, same thing. And then you get to a world level. And if that's the first time you've taken a matchup where you're doubting yourself, where you're like, damn, this guy trains at a big gym with a lot. There's 3 UFC fighters at this gym. You know, like you start doubting yourself, and you get into this subliminal psyche where you're not going to win that fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and you know, you almost have to have a bit of cockiness, because you got to have that false arrogance of like, you know, I can win this even when the odds are a match. Yeah. You know, like, to give him a shout out, because he just won last night. Sam Alvey just knocked out Tyrone Spong in Karate Combat. All right. Like, he was the underdog. Tyrone Spong was like, might be a little bit off with this, but like something like 116-7 in professional kickboxing. They called him the belt snatcher.
Yeah.
And he literally came out of retirement, was fighting Sam Alvey for the heavyweight championship, and Sam Alvey knocked him out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
like anyone could be beat on any given night, but at the same time, like, man, and not saying Tyrone Spong is a paper fighter because he's definitely not.
Yeah.
But like, but that's the thing. It's like some of these people will paper their records, and then they finally have to go against a Tyrone Spong or a Sam Alvey, or one of these high level guys, and it's like, bro, if you've not had matchups where you've already had to handle that negative adversity and disbelief in yourself in the camp and fight and break through that barrier, then you're going to do that in that matchup, and you're going to crumble.
That's where you lose it at. That's where it matters too. Is when you get to that professional level, it matters now.
Well, bro, and it's not really fighting if, like, now don't get me wrong, like as a pro, it's a bit of a business. So it's like, it's a paycheck. So it's like, okay, if I think I can beat this guy's ass and they're offering me easy money for it, okay, just go collect the fucking check.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a business to it. If all I'm doing is collecting easy checks and never fighting tough competition, then I'm just a paper fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, and so that's the thing. Like you've got to have
there's a balance,
a bit of both. And it's like, as an amateur, you shouldn't be a paper fighter.
Yeah.
Because you're not really getting paid for it. It doesn't really fucking matter because once you go pro, your record's wiped clean.
Yep.
No one's sitting here fucking paying somebody $1 million because they were so-and-so's amateur champion.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it now matters what you've done as a pro.
Yep.
And so like, and that's the thing. It's like your amateur career is to build your following and to gain exposure. Let me see what the fuck's out there.
Yeah.
Because maybe I might think I'm the baddest motherfucker out there and then realize I'm not.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother level. I've got to do this to level up.
Yeah.
And so then that's that question of like, you hear Dana White say that old clip from forever ago on The Ultimate Fighter, show you want to be a fighter. Well, like that's that moment. You see that, get that humiliating moment. You take that loss and you get that gut check and it goes down. All right, fuck, I've got to do this. I thought I was given enough, but now I've got to do this much more to level up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want it bad enough?
You got to want it bad enough. You got to want it bad enough.
Yeah. Well, and so, man, I'm big, and I tell all the guys in the gym this. So I'm big on like trying to understand how we work as a creature. Okay.
Yeah.
Psychologically.
Yeah. So like, because the more we understand that, the easier it is to fix some of those bad habits and those flaws. And so like, as men, we will not do anything and stay continuing to do it if we get humiliated at it and don't have passion for it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's facts.
All right.
Facts.
So it's like, if we'll go work a shitty job as long as we have passion for it.
Oh, we're good at it or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or we're getting paid good.
We'll get paid good and we're kind of decent
as long as you're getting something where you're, hey, this is worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll continue to do it.
Yep.
But the moment we go, this ain't fucking worth it.
You're
hanging it up.
You're going to be out.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like, and that's
same
leveling up in anything in life.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and that happens a lot in fighting.
I guarantee it.
You'll have somebody who they're a good athlete. They do a heavy bench press and they're like, I can piss vinegar, And then they step in there and then I put them with like my 14-year-old Ethan.
Yeah.
I'm probably about to let out there in June.
Oh,
and,
bro, I can't wait to see
Ethan
him go, bro.
Touches you up and you're a 20-something-year-old.
Oh, he touched me up, son. Yeah, dude. I had about 3 head kicks and a couple of gut kicks. That was soft, though. He touched me softly.
He's touching me softly.
I was like, dude, if this was a real fight, you'd be whooping my ass, dude.
But that's my thing.
Yeah.
Like people, you got to have that dose of reality, man.
Yeah.
Like that dose of reality, in my opinion, in anything in life is kind of like, oh, okay. Like, is this for me or is it not? And then I tell everybody, like everybody has $1 million talent inside them. All right. But the problem with the common people, and don't get me wrong, I'm still common, I'm poor.
Yeah.
All right. But
same, bro. Same thing.
The common people is, instead of looking at internally we then look externally and idolize somebody else and go, oh man, he's got this nice boat. We got this pretty wife, you know, I'd like to have that life. And so we start looking externally instead of,
I can do that too.
Well, I could do that too. Or even at that, maybe that's not our light to shine.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody's got a light that they're meant to cast in the
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
but it's
That's
like,
true too,
what is your
yeah.
light to shine? And so
Exactly.
and I'm probably not going to directly quote it correctly, but there's like a Bible phrase where it's talking about, you know, you can't really hear the Lord speak to you unless you separate yourself from and go into isolation and free yourself from all the distractions, your phone, your friends, your family. And in that isolation, the Lord will come to you and speak to you. So it's like, I think that that's truly what people don't do enough because they're so worried about their peers' opinions that they're so focused on this external opinion of them that they don't separate themselves from the distraction and look internally and find what that light is to shine. And like, and that's, like I said, that's where most people kind of, okay, oh, this guy's a football player, but I'm short. Football's probably never going to be my thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so I've got to understand that. Or like, shit, it doesn't matter how much I may like basketball. I can't jump.
5'7".
Yeah, dude.
I'm not gonna make it.
You gotta be realistic.
Like, you gotta be realistic.
So it's like, but like, and then also I think that's where some people kind of flaw in parenting a little bit. It's like, you know, they struggle and they face adversity and they're like, I don't want my child to face this. So they kind of get this predetermined, all right, well, I had to work a 9 to 5 and always struggle. So my kid's going to be a doctor because a doctor has all the money.
Yeah.
Well, then they try and force their kid to be a doctor instead of parenting in a different light. Let me watch my son or my daughter in their adolescence.
Yeah.
Okay. And see what they're naturally creative at, naturally gifted at, you know, like, hey, they have passion for this. And then by the time that they hit like teenage years, I sit down with them and I'm like, hey, growing up, this is what I saw you absolutely suck at. Don't go this way.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate life.
You're not gonna do good.
Okay. But this is what I saw that you had passion for, and then this is what I saw that you were naturally gifted at. And these are different routes that you can take in life to then pursue your passion or your gift and make money. And I think if more people chose that stylistic of parenting, not only would they have better relationships with their kids because they wouldn't be trying to force
for sure
their kid to do anything, but then that kid would actually discover what that light is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like if we go by status quos, I've never truly met a status quo. I wasn't married by 25. You know, I still don't own a house. Like, you know, like, and that's the thing. It's like, if you look at like a lot of the stereotypical status quos that get like
thrown out there,
thrown at people, it's like, you're telling young men that you've got to have your life figured out, your career path, your spouse that you're supposed to spend the next 3 quarters of your life with.
All by 24.
All by the first quarter. You know, like, so it's like, think about like, okay, a bunch of people are football fans. It's a 4-quarter game. How many games have we seen somebody run up a fucking lead in the first quarter and then get dog walked for the next 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that. And we're expecting young men, young adults to have their entire life figured out
by 24.
In that first quarter. And so,
I'm 37. I still don't have it figured out.
And that's the thing, man. Like one of the quotes I use is like Colonel Sanders. He didn't found KFC until he was in his 60s. So you got to think about like that subliminal psychological thinking. So if he did what most people, the fear of failure or the label of you're a failure, okay, like he wouldn't have ever attained that. So it's like he would have been like, okay, I'm a failure. All right, let's just fucking hang it up.
Yeah.
Like, but he kept trying, and then
figured it out,
became a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really the thing is like a lot of people, man, it's the fear of failure and it's the lack of like initiative. So it's like, I'm kind of like a walk-in motivational
Oh no,
I watch a lot of motivational
I love
videos.
that shit,
I love the
dude.
quotes.
So like when we came to the gym, you gave us like 3 motivational speeches while we were there, and I was like, golly, bro, I'm ready to take on the world in just a few minutes. I mean, it was like
it's awesome.
You only went for 1 class. I went for 2.
Yeah.
And Chet beat my ass in MMA. And then I haven't been back since. Like it looks like I'm just a puss, but I had to get my money right, bro. I was about broke.
No, you're all right.
But
carpool with some of them guys. We got a couple coming down from Cleveland.
I know it.
I know. I drive past. It takes me about an hour to get there from work, and I work till 5 in Jasper.
Have you ever thought about opening up a gym here, like a dual gym? Because we don't have one here. That's MMA only.
Well,
it's probably hard in it.
There is a gym out here that kind of, in a way, does MMA, and I support them. It's Apex Jiu-Jitsu. That's
here?
Pac Lewis. He's a really good black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and then they got it's not a big Muay Thai program, but they got a Muay Thai program with a kid over there named Royal Geesey that I used to coach back in the day. He had some Taekwondo before coming to like American Killer, but his kid's pretty tough.
Yeah.
But man, so running one gym, is fucking work enough.
Yeah.
Like about 65
having somebody
hours
you trust enough to teach them the right way too is probably a big
that's
thing.
The thing, man.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people when they open gyms, they kind of open it in a different way where they've got different coaches and they've got the money financially to support. I didn't have all that, and I kind of did it on a whim. Was like, this is my passion. This is what I want to do, and like I think I have the following and the support to do it.
Yeah.
And the knowledge, like, because like let's get real, man. Like you, especially when you put out people, as many people as I put out to compete.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to have one guy.
Yeah.
And make him good.
Yeah.
And make him undefeated.
Yeah.
It's a whole different story. When I've had if we look at the different A&Fs, I've probably had 30 different competitors at least.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and you're talking about most of that was a lot of me coaching them a lot of those classes. Now, very thankful we got Chat Lavender. He's
we need to get him on here too, bro.
Yeah, Chat's got some good stories, man. He's been in the game for 30 years.
Dang.
And so like I fought Matt Hughes back in the day. Chat, we got him there now. So it lightens the load a little bit on me, allows me to get back to training a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's easy to be a fake when people aren't really trying to compete. Like, so, and it does. It's not to like crap on any of these gyms, but say like some of these fitness kickboxing gyms, those gyms, like, they have their market, like the soccer moms and the people who don't really want to get full contact and get hit and actually dedicate themselves to learn the art. Well, okay, you can go get a 30-minute workout in and build your false confidence and think that you're learning how to fight.
Yeah.
Okay. As to the mat time that it truly takes to amass the knowledge of somebody like me, or like somebody on a world level, or somebody who's a world champion, or somebody who's coached multiple world champions, like it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, like, you've got to study it. You've got to obsess about it.
Yeah.
You've got to spend that time making those mistakes to figure it out. And so that's also, man, something that kind of has led me to success in different areas in life. I wasn't always this confident in different things, but martial arts helped build that confidence. Cause it's like, man, you have little things like you look across the mat and you're like, damn, this guy's jacked. Like, how am I going to handle this guy?
Yeah.
Like, and then you go out there and you ragdoll him and you're like, are you kidding me? Like I was contemplating this guy.
Yeah, I bet that's a confidence booster like a son is.
And so it's like, then when you truly take that confidence and you apply it in other aspects of your life, like, okay, like financially, all right, there's a little bill. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll get through that. That ain't shit.
That's the way he would be if he got out if he actually like competed. He's way stronger than he thinks he is. he's got like some retard strength or something.
Me too.
And he would really be. He's partly autistic too, so it would be like a killer if
they say autism is one of the good traits to make you a killer at jiu-jitsu.
Like I mean, it got him. He dodged, but it got him, bro. The autism got him. Man.
He's somewhere on that spectrum.
Yeah, he dodged it, but it
scratched me. It scratched me a little bit.
It got him. It got him. So
yeah.
he would be, and he's strong. He's really stronger than he thinks he is, bro, for real. So he doesn't. He would be like that. He would get out there and be like, "Oh God, dude, this dude is ripped," and then he'd just ragdoll somebody if he actually fought.
If I trained, bro, I don't know, but
well,
I was thinking that today. I was wondering, like, do you ever get like in that mindset, like, oh shit? Because you don't seem like that kind of person to me. Like you would get scared or nervous about some shit like
Not
that.
as much anymore.
Yeah.
I get it more coaching the guys, truly, or like putting on these events. Like,
is this event going to be good enough? Is this fight going to be right?
Well, like that outdoor event. Like, is the weather going to hold out? Like, is it going to? A week before it was 30 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit! Yeah. Like, are the tickets going to sell? Chattanooga's a known city for not really at these type of events and festivals and stuff. People don't buy tickets till the day up.
Yeah.
So it's like shit. Like sometimes we're budgeting 35, 40 grand, and it's like,
golly,
we've got 20 grand to clear the week up.
Yeah.
just to break even.
Stressful.
And so,
man.
like, like shit, I'll tell you right now, I've aged about 10 years in the past 3. And then just even at that, man, like, I have a big heart for people. So, like, and a lot of my guys, and not that I hold them at gunpoint and make them, sit there and speak highly of me, but like a lot of people who stick around, they know, like, I'm somebody who, even if I'm going through a hard time, I'll give you the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and I don't really ask for anything other than you to be yourself, you to be honest, you to strive towards the goal you say that you want to attain.
Yeah.
And like, and just common respect, like respect your peers. Like, like we all, like if you saw how we all joke around and pick at each other, like we all give each other a hard time.
Yeah.
But it's like, let somebody else fuck with one of us.
Like,
you're going to
I guarantee it.
I know.
That'd be some dumb shit.
Like, I'm the world's worst at it. I'll be out there coaching my guys and let some random motherfucker say some stupid shit over here because I'm about to turn around and smack the shit out of him and then go back to coaching my guy. Like, because it's like, you're not going to disrespect my dude.
Yeah.
Like, we'll take our losses, but we ain't no bitches.
Right.
And like, and that just, I don't know, like.
It's a family.
Seems
like it's just a family.
I made a post about that after the last fights and was talking about, Bubba breaking his leg, and he still sat there and watched every fight and cheered his team on, and we saw, and
then went to Champies and ate chicken with us after before going to the damn ER.
God, dude.
Bro looked at me right as he hit the ground. He looks up, he goes, "It broke." Rolls over, tells the ref it broke.
I know.
And then the ref goes, "All right, well, the fight's done." He's like, "Hold on, just give me an 8 count."
I know.
Gosh, dude.
No.
God, bro.
You're trying to tell him, like, Bubba, it is over with, bro.
Yeah.
You broke your leg. It's over.
He's going Karate Kid it.
I know, bro.
Listen, that kid is tougher than fucking nails, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and he wants it. Like, Bubba, I got to say, Bubba's on this close to getting a win there.
God, dude, he's so close.
Like, bro, he was
winning that fight, dude.
And then even his MMA fight before that, he was
winning that
piecing
fight,
dude up. And then what's crazy about that, though, I told his ass, he comes up to me the fight week of that MMA fight, and he goes, "I've been thinking, if this guy puts me in a triangle or an arm bar, I'm going to pick him up and slam him." I said, "Bubba, do not fucking do it." I said, "That is the dumbest thing you could." I almost smacked him. Like, I was like, no, do not do that, Bubba. That is the dumbest thing you could do because you think you're going to slam your way out of it or knock him out. I said, a good jiu-jitsu guy,
tighter,
you're going to either, if it's an arm bar, when you go to lift, you're going to break your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So before you even slam him, you're popping your elbow. I was like, if it's a triangle, as soon as you slam him, as long as he stays tight, you're going to deepen the choke and put yourself to sleep.
Yeah.
Sure enough, bro, 15 seconds left. Kid shoots a triangle on Bubba. And I'm screaming, no. He lifts him, slams him, chokes himself out right on the buzzer. And I'm
Dang
like, God bless. And then that's also his toughness, or some would argue it's stupidity. But
some would argue that. But I fell in love with that dude when he came on the podcast,
listen,
bro.
He's like, I ain't tapping to a choke.
He went to sleep too, bro.
Literally, like he's literally told us that he's not going to tap to a guillotine, a rear naked, or like a triangle or something that's choking him.
Yeah.
He's willing to go to sleep.
He did
instead of tapping to it.
Yeah, I guarantee it, bro.
Yeah. That dude is not scared of a little gnat. He's not scared of it.
No,
bro.
man, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of my guys, man. We take tough fights because I tell my guys, like, you can't really call yourself a fighter until you rise to the occasion, no matter the man that's standing across from you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like win or lose, undefeated debut. It does not matter who's standing in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, a fight's a fight.
So let's talk about that a little bit. We had an undefeated fighter that took on Wally, Tyler, and didn't come out the way we wanted it. But
well, not to sound biased, great work to Aditya. Like, it didn't come out the way my team
wanted it.
Tyler, but at the same time, unbiasedly,
great
fight
Yeah.
from Aditya.
Yeah.
And I'm a big supporter. KMA's helped me get to where I'm at in my career.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like the rounds with Jason King, Ovent St. Preux, Eric Turner, the head coach's knowledge, like they're a great gym. Like, so not to shit on Aditya.
Yeah,
no, heck no, dude. We tried to get him on the show because he was my favorite fighter on the Rhythm and Brews.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, this dude is he just looks really good. I want to get him on here.
He may have had one fight for somebody else, but I think his entire career just about has been for us.
Yeah.
So that's been something. And he's fought a couple of my guys now. Like, he's fought early in his career. He fought one of my guys, Justin Hunt. And then, now later in his career, he's fought Tyler Wallace.
Yeah.
And like, Aditya is a very exciting fighter. And I mean, given Tyler, same thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people, like, not to toot my own gym's horn or anything, but like I said, like, a lot of people kind of try and take the easy fights, take the fights they know they can win.
That was not going to be an easy fight,
and
right there,
and that's kudos to Tyler as well. Like,
Tyler,
stepping up and taking that fight. Tyler short notice
on
too.
Short notice, going against an undefeated guy and switching styles. Switching styles. We've been training all camp for MMA, and now all of a sudden you're going to go fight a guy who's got his majority fights in kickboxing.
Yeah, majority.
So, like, when people understand the styles, man, that's a different pace of striking.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a big difference.
And so
Huge
it's like,
bro.
like when you don't have the ability to grab a hold of somebody and catch your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you are strong at the ground game, like Tyler is. Tyler is strong at the ground game. It is something that he probably felt like he was going to be able to rely on, and then it's changed gears all of a sudden. You're just kickboxing only.
Like I said, we were preparing for a guy who had wrestled in college in an MMA matchup.
Yeah,
and then the guy pulled, and if the guy pulled, it was apparently had an injury with his eye. I'm not trying to bash that guy. If that was legit, I hope he gets healthy.
Yeah.
Like,
comes back for another fight.
That's also just fighting, man. Like, people think that life and fighting is perfect, and it's not.
Yeah.
Like, the guy who has to have life be absolutely perfect, or a fight camp be absolutely perfect, is
never be
9 times out of 10 not going to be a successful fighter.
Yeah. Never going to have a good fight. Never going to be a fighter.
No, man, because like you realize, like,
it's just like life.
Yeah.
Fighting is just like life, bro. Every time you have a plan, it might not work out exactly like you think it's
for the first time last night. in a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I kicked 3 different people in the elbow with my ankle on this ankle. I kicked someone else in the hip with my other ankle. I've been hobbling around all day. Okay. Like, you realize that's not even me training for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's just getting up and moving.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're actually training at a fast pace, the damage that your body is amassing, like, bro, it's hardly ever, if you make it to a fight without an injury or without something tweaked or hurting, you didn't prepare.
Yeah.
So you're probably about to get your ass beat.
Yeah.
So, okay. We talked about Tyler and we talked about Bubba. What about Matson's speech after his fight, bro? Was that planned? Did Chad just take the reins on that and say, Matson talk?
So Chad took the reins. Typically, we don't give as much, mic time in the cage after the fights, just because we do the post-fight interviews over there with Jennifer. And I usually have more fights, so it's like,
we don't have time for that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to keep everybody. So some shows will keep people there to make more on alcohol and food and shit, and
or whatever.
Like they'll keep people in there till 2 a.m. on a regional show, and it's like, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, some of these people got to work on Monday or hell, even on Sunday sometimes.
Yeah. But to be fair, I wouldn't mind hanging out longer.
So no, I mean,
but if we got 20 fights, it's different.
If everything works out, June we're gonna have a good bit of fights.
Yeah,
and we're gonna.
Well, there was more fights scheduled for this time.
Yeah, there was more fights, and a few fell out, and then there was just some other complications, man.
It's gonna happen,
and that goes with some of the stuff. I guess I could kind of let this cat out of the bag. One of the things that's coming soon, I've already kind of talked to my partners, and we're looking into it, and not saying it won't happen before June, but could be a potential before, that September show if we can find a venue, or at least our first show of next year. But we're probably about to add pros in.
I was actually going to ask. That was one of my questions, yeah.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like.
But I got to be honest with you. Don't ever lose the AMI aspect of it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And I know you won't, but like the show for me,
won't
I
change.
think it's more exciting because they're amateur. I don't have any expectations for it. When I'm watching the fights, you see it, and like the main events that you have, every one of them are amateur fights so far, and you can tell that the main event, those dudes are close.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can tell the difference in pace.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference in the way they do everything in the fight game.
Mm-hmm.
When you put on a main event, it's going to be as close to professional as you can get without being professional.
Well,
and so I just want to see some professional fights.
We're still gonna do that. So it's just the thought of adding pros in, man, is not ever to really run 15 fight pro card necessarily. That's maybe if it ever events to it, but if I ever run a card that has that many pro fights, I promise you it's probably got that many amateur fights, and it's probably like we started at fucking 8 a.m. and we're just brawling all day.
Yeah. That would be sick.
Like,
I am down. I'm there for
everybody show up.
I know.
Yeah, and even at that, shit, if I'm doing something like that, it's going to be at like Mackenzie Arena.
Yeah.
And, I
feel like it's going to end up there eventually.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I mean, you might not want to say nothing about it.
You don't have to say nothing about it, but a bigger venue is
we've
definitely
been talking about that for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. The event is too good. The promos are too good. The fights are too good.
I don't want to go too open of a space. So, like me being a fighter myself,
absolutely, you want it to be
when it's too expanded.
Yes,
then the fighters don't feel like the crowd's with them, and so the atmosphere ain't there. And so when the fighters feel like the crowd's in the cage. Oh man.
Yeah.
Like this past event. Okay. We had debut fights. We had all sorts of shit. There was a couple finishes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But there wasn't a single boring fight.
No.
There was not a single fight that was just not like, damn.
Dang,
Yeah.
son.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
and like, that's my thing with how some of these shows match. Like, that's where they lose the fans. That's okay. Like, let's
You have to get the high ticket sales because you're putting on boring fights, bro.
Yeah. Well,
And
and it's
that's not
also
what you're doing.
a lot of these promoters and matchmakers, some of them have never trained, never fought.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like, I look at like
It's almost like-
styles and stuff. So like,
I was wondering, like, how do you find the fighters? I know you got like connections and stuff, but like getting fighters from Nebraska that time, like five, I'm like, how does that even happen?
Sometimes, other times it's connections. But I look at the like styles make fights. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you put two wrestlers against each other, well, it's going to go one or two ways. All right. And you got to know fighting. So either one wrestler's going to be the better wrestler and put the other one on his back and then beat the shit out of him, or neither of them get a fucking takedown and it becomes a standing battle where they're just throwing haymakers.
Yeah.
Because neither of them have mastered striking and had to stand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like,
But
that's
if
an
you put
exciting, that's an exciting fight potential.
Yeah.
But then it very likely could also be
A
that
boring
neither of
fight.
those guys ever fucking throw a punch and they
Yeah.
just run from each other
Mm-hmm.
or just keep each other held against the fence. And so it's like, it's a bit of luck, but it's also a bit of like just understanding styles and fights. Like, this guy's going to fight this guy like this, or this gym focuses on these type of martial
this.
arts.
Yeah.
So this is the style that this guy's going to bring versus this style.
I like it.
And so, you know, like I said earlier, you know, a lot of people told me, oh, amateur kickboxing, that won't sell a ticket. Bro, we had 7 kickboxing fights.
Two
and
MMA fights. Yep.
Yeah.
We sold more in kickboxing tickets than we sold in MMA.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
I enjoy the kickboxing a lot.
Well, it's
Well,
like I said,
and it depends,
but if
like,
you
that's the thing.
if you have a bum, then you just watch this skilled fighter go out here and fucking KO this guy in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
And like, and
I mean,
that's
it's
not,
exciting
and
to watch a
sometimes look,
knockout,
you can
but-
have 2 good guys and that still happen.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yes.
just checkmates them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a thing.
But if that dude doesn't have a coach, doesn't train at a gym, and the other dude's 4-0,
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you don't match those up.
Yeah.
like, I try to match the resumes as best I can.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, like very, very, very seldom, and most times it will be a short notice matchup. Will you see me match somebody like a debut with a 5-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it does happen, it's just because the debut's like, look, dog, I want to fucking fight. I
Yeah.
don't care who you get me.
I know.
And all I could find them was the 5-0. And I even told them, like, I'm not trying to set you up for failure, but dog, this
But
is all
you're
that's available.
fixing to lose. I
This
just try
is
to-
all that's available
Yeah.
for this event. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's sometimes fighting, man. Some people just aren't available for some dates.
Chance, what about him, bro?
Chance is looking sharp.
He looked
But-
pretty,
But he's got holes. And that's not
as all amateur fighters do.
as all
right?
fighters. Fuck, I got holes. I'm
Yeah.
a pro fighter.
Yeah.
Everybody's got holes.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to master. I think he is very tough.
Yeah. Surprisingly tough, actually. I wasn't ready for that. So I talked to
But
Chad.
what do you think? How you think he fares in a matchup against Larry?
Larry's gonna piece him up.
Is Larry going to have any more amateur fights? Though? I mean,
Maybe.
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 I mean,
But
Larry said
Larry-
this year, at least last time I talked to him, he said this year was probably his last year as
Yeah.
an Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Chance is now 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and
Be cool to
and
watch.
Chance's.
I know. But Larry's gonna piece him up, dude.
I mean, that's my thing. That's where the right opponent could potentially exploit those holes,
Yeah.
if not cleaned up. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like, and that's not to say anything bad about him. I
No,
wish him
yeah.
the best.
100%.
He's very tough. Fuck, he weathered the storm in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he lost the first round and came back and won the next 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, but that's the thing. It's like, Fabian frame wise was also smaller than Chance. So it's like, how's he fare in and I've not seen all Chance's fights, but I've seen 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the story of it is Chance is going against a
weather
smaller, explosive guy. That guy wins the first round, and then Chance comes
just
back
weathering
and wins
the storm. Yeah.
wins in the latter rounds. And
But if
it's
he
like,
takes a dude that's like Nakota, five fights deep, who had to cut to 170, and he's going in.
Nakota's still smaller than Chance. Chance is tall.
Frame wise,
Chance is tall and he's thick.
Yeah,
and
that's true. And he's cutting down to.
He's cutting too. It ain't like Chance is just walking at 170.
Yeah,
but like that's the thing. Like
Nakota's still smaller than him, dude.
I'm saying
that was a big boy. He was a big boy, though.
I'm saying like all right, like a Larry. Okay, like Larry has very quick, explosive hands.
He doesn't even have to cut.
His background is boxing. Okay,
yeah.
So like in that matchup, like it's a 5-round fight. So it just depends. Like, does Larry kind of pull what Tyler did this past fight and go out there going for the kill in the first round, second round, and not have anything to hold up in the latter rounds, and Chance is able to get him in that decision or put him down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's put that fight together and see,
because you get a little bit
see what happens. No, I'm just kidding.
Or is it how Fabian was landing to the outside parts of Chance's head in the first round? Does Larry find the chin? Because the chin is like flipping a light.
Yeah.
So
Larry's quick, direct. He's
and I mean, if we look at if Larry fights like he fought Isaiah Lynn, then that Larry is going to win.
Yeah.
Because Chance is tall, and he let Fabian get the first shot off a lot of times, and he was also kind of lacking a little bit of the tracking, quick athletic footwork to trap Fabian, and like there was sometimes he would throw a kick and Fabian was already moving.
He's already gone.
And he's kicking in the air. And so, like Larry catches him on 1 foot with a straight punch.
Yeah.
That's the same thing he did to Isaiah to set him down.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he did the same thing to Matson too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that it's goes back to styles.
Yeah.
And then also
Larry's
like
background is boxing. He's gonna be his hands are insane, bro.
He's quick.
Yeah,
and I mean only getting better.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean the guy fights damn near once, twice a month.
No, and
okay, like and I mean when you're getting fights like that, like you could face injuries and stuff, but at the same time, your IQ is
growing,
leveling,
dude.
Yeah.
Okay, like because you're always staying in the gym, you're always fighting.
Yeah.
Like if you're not staying in the gym, you're gonna lose those fights.
Oh, yeah,
Larry doesn't lose often.
Yeah.
So
he lost down in Georgia when we went to go see that.
Yeah. That was an intense fight.
And that dude was, that dude seemed huge.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of the same.
How big was that dude?
That dude's probably about Chance's size.
190.
So like I said,
he did.
That dude's a little bit taller, a little bit thicker shoulder frame.
Yeah.
And was cutting to 170.
Yeah.
Larry had a fight like a week later at like 155.
God.
So Larry weighed in fully clothed.
Yeah.
To make weight
with boots on and shit, bro.
And he did the same thing with me.
Yep.
Okay, like he was like, "What's the lightest I can weigh?" I said, "You can't weigh under, the next weight class."
Yeah.
I said, "You got to be at bare minimum over 155, or it's going to be a problem."
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And he weighed in at 166, bro.
Yeah. And so
with all of his clothes on,
with all of his clothes,
and rocks in his pocket,
maybe, who knows?
And rocks in his pocket. He said maybe. Who knows?
But I mean, but that's the thing. Like you got to understand, like that's kind of fighting and like like being a competitor.
Well, he is that.
No, and so like I said, it's not to shit on Chance. Chance is tough. I mean, he definitely earned that victory, like without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And he's earned both of the ones that I've seen in person.
Yep.
Because the other one, he fought on the same event that Kerry fought on.
XFL.
XFA, yeah.
XFA.
So that was the other one that I had seen of his in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, he's a very tough competitor.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where future goes.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if he's ever going to do MMA too. Like,
right.
you know, cause I don't know if he's got a ground game or not.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cause maybe that Fabian matchup's different if it goes to the ground.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you know, if it's MMA, like Fabian maybe is able to grab same thing with Tyler Wallace. He's able to grab a hold of him and breathe a little bit and break that pressure a little bit and not be getting hit.
Yeah.
Okay. And so,
man, I love the fight game.
I know, it's fun.
Well, talking with Billy about it feels like you learned so much.
He knows a lot, so it's
you're
not talking to me and you right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
I know
professional, so it's different.
It's exciting though. It makes me excited for the future, man. So speaking of the future, are we doing these fights every 6 months? Every 6 weeks? I mean, bro, or is that what's going on here?
So.
Are we doing them every 6 weeks from now on, or is this just a test run?
Well, so one, I figured we had it down enough to do it this year.
Yeah.
So like, it's not the time frame I personally like. No, like especially when you stay in the same city. Like if you're doing a show in the same city every 6 weeks, people start, or even more frequent. Like some shows try and run every month, and it's like. When you do that, like I feel like you kind of water down the market and your fans start picking and choosing like, oh, well, I got something else to do this day.
I got you.
And when you put as much into it as we do, like it's really fucking difficult to have people start making that decision. Like we need the fans to show up and support, not only for the fighters to have a great experience, but like that ticket, like I said, it's not like we're getting major endorsements like a UFC or something like that where they're paying for the show and then we just put it on.
The profit is all in the ticket.
Yeah. So if we don't break $35,000 minimum, like that's just me rough guessing.
Yeah.
$35,000, then
just
we don't make money.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's like I might put on all the work that I put into it and my partners and everybody else, and then us lose money and I put all that work on for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's not to say like that I do this for the money. I do it to help people and like give a better option. Like, and then also like I said this to somebody at the gym the other day, like the whole reason we do the pre-fight interviews, like, it lets the fighters and the crowd kind of understand the fighters a little bit.
It's a much better experience. Go into a few of the other lives and see
the real reason behind that is you never know what kid might be sitting in the audience. And then it might be this fighter's only fight. But they sit there and they watch their testimonial of what brings them to the cage.
Yeah.
And that inspiration might lead that child on to being a future world champion.
Yeah.
And like it might be that person's only fucking amateur fight.
I know. Ain't that crazy?
But it might be their story.
It's so wild, dude.
It is.
Like a Mats and Manicki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it might be their story that then inspires others to go on and find their light.
Yeah.
And cast their light, you know, because not everybody's meant to be a fighter.
So,
not everybody's meant to be a coach.
Yeah.
So when Matson was giving his speech, did you tear up any? For real?
I did, but I was also in the back, you know, having to slap Tyler around a little bit and get him ready. You know?
Yeah. Well, we were standing out there like dumbasses crying in front of everybody.
We had tears welling up, man. Wiping them away, bro.
I love that shit.
I know, I do too.
And I mean, that goes back to, you know, just the overall atmosphere of the gym too, man. Like a lot of people Matson came to me, he was 30, 31 years old. Ex-convicted felon, you know, with a long laundry list of past.
Yep.
Like, and every reason to go, no, this guy should not be at my gym. Like, it's a bad look.
Yep.
Look at the story that man has.
I know, dude.
Like,
all from fighting, dude.
And then even at that,
it all to fighting.
Matson helps coach some of the kids.
Yeah.
The kids at our gym love Matson as a coach.
I guarantee you they do.
Matson helps coach every individual in the gym.
Yeah.
I have to chew Matson's ass and be like, hey, shut the fuck up and get your reps. You got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
I love that.
He's a giver.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's the real reality. People don't understand that. Like, most people would have closed the door because, this is bad. I might lose a kid or two because this guy's got prison tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, bro, the whole reason I opened my gym is, and man, I was a math major in college. So like I was going to be a physics major, be a civil engineer. So I'm good with math. So like this ain't a bullshit statistic. 90 to 95% of the people I was really close friends with in early middle school, late middle school, early high school, they're dead to drugs or bad choices.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have gotten in Saudi Daisy Wrestling under Coach Henry and had the mentorship I had and just been like, this is what I'm going to do to pull myself out of this. And like had that mental shift as a kid.
Could have landed in the same spot.
I'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not could have. There, I would
have. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like just like the Ethan we spoke about, you know, like not to give his, you know, personal business out there, but the kid's had a hard life and he's only 14. There's a reason he's a tough fucking fighter at 14. Like, you better realize that. And people don't think that. They think, this is just a fucking child.
Yeah.
Well, he is just a child, but
he is. But that child's probably, if you had a spoon-fed life,
you're not going to be that
up
tough.
to 30, 40, you ain't adhered near the adversity that this kid has
faced already
at 14.
Yeah.
Golly.
And and you know, that's just the truth.
And he's cold. So.
And it's like if
wearing Trey out.
If the gym wouldn't have been there, Ethan was on the path. He was failing classes in school.
Yeah.
He was back talking, and he was right at that rebellion stage of a teenage years. Oh boy, we've whipped that kid's ass
Turned
into
him right
shape.
around.
No, because the kid stuff, he's 14, but he's 200 pounds. When he came to us, he was like 220. And that kid already had Taekwondo, and he would throw fucking head kicks at you 100%.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, like you're going to keep doing that and you're going to learn today. And so I wouldn't crack him in the head 100%, but I'd go for his body.
Yeah.
And but that was the thing. The kid was competitive.
Yeah.
He had a hard life.
Do you feel like you're these people's dads? All these dudes that are in your coach. Do you feel like their father? Like, I mean, for real,
look,
because
I just started watching the TV series, The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
And so which my partners would be pissed that I'm probably referencing that. But it reminds me of that reel that's going around where he's like, I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
You're not our dad. You've not done any of the things you said. No. I said it. I'm your daddy.
I'm your daddy. Yeah. But like, is that the mentality you take into it when you're coaching these guys? I mean,
I try not to but yeah, you got to kind of. So every individual's different, man. So like, some people just need positive reinforcement. Like they've adhered enough. So like, not everybody's the David Goggins. Okay, so they're going to take that negative adversity and they're like, all right, motherfucker, I'm going to show you who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people, that negative adversity has forced them so far into a shell that they lack the confidence to try. So some people just need the positive reinforcement.
Nice.
Hey, good job today.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps them coming. Some people, they need that, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like
you gotta put a foot in them, son.
Like ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are you wasting mine and your fucking time right now?
As a coach, you have to figure that out too, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody's different. And so it's like, you know, but not everybody understands that as a coach. Some people, man, and it also goes back into why do you go into coaching? Like, man, I go into coaching to help individuals. Like, whether your goal is to fight and be a world champion or whether your goal is to use martial arts to better your life in some aspect.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a firm believer when you develop a warrior's mentality, life is easy. And so it's like that, you know, you have confidence. You don't have fear, you know, or you have fear, but you know how to face it.
Yeah.
And then like,
you're going to face adversity in martial arts of any kind. And if you know how to face that, it's definitely going to make your life better.
Well, in the fear of humiliation.
Yeah.
If I do this, I could look stupid.
Yeah.
Bro, I tell everybody at the gym, you got to be willing to fuck it up to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's life.
You're going to look stupid.
You realize how many times I've looked fucking stupid trying something in my life, or throwing some random kick as a 300-pound man, like a spinning back kick, and people being like, "Why is your fat ass doing that?"
I know.
And I'm like, "Oh,
I think somebody cool told us about that."
Yeah.
And then I have guys at my gym that are doing it. I'm like, "You motherfucker, basic footwork."
Yeah. You can't throw a spinning back kick yet, bro. You're not there. Yeah.
But like that's the thing, man. It's like you got to be willing to face the adversity, face the negativity to truly accomplish anything in life. And like, there's a saying that says that no one's going to pat you on the back until long after you've accomplished it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, not to toot my own horn, but I've done a lot of things for a lot of individuals. I ain't really going to get patted on the back until I'm fucking Dana White's age.
Well, here's the thing, though, bro.
Like
you may not feel like you're getting patted on the back, but every guy we talk to that sits right there pats you on the back.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Especially this past event, there was a bunch of people because we had 2 intermissions, so I went outside during them. There was people coming up to me, man, thank you for putting this on. This is great. And they were just fans. They weren't even like people that were ever going to train or compete or anything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. I think, like I said, it just gives people an outlet. Yep. And there's more people that, because of how some of these lackluster promoters put on their events, they're not fans of fighting because they think it's just fucking barbaric.
Yeah.
And then when you get into it and you understand that, like, truly most people, the reason they fight is not because they want to be the Billy Badass.
They're not barbaric.
Because they want to test their knowledge and know if under pressure they can problem solve and win.
Yeah.
Or do under pressure.
Do I fold?
Yeah. Do I fold and break?
It's an intense, impressive thing, bro.
It's a crazy thing to put yourself into, honestly.
So we've talked about it a million times sitting right here. Like, the guys that we meet that are in fighting are of a different mindset and of they're a different breed of humans, and each one of them have inspired us to be better humans along the way, somehow, some way, with one little word that they say, one phrase that they say. It's all it takes. And we have, as grown men, been inspired by, really, some of them are just kids, bro. 20 years old or whatever, and they're sitting here telling us stuff that we've never fathomed. And so when you're saying these fighters are doing something to make themselves better and learn and understand their life and everything, their whole aspect of life, it is insane to see that play out.
It's like one of the hardest things for me to grasp in life is patience. All right?
You're not a patient dude.
No, I'm one of the most
I get that
impatient.
I get that vibe.
But I've gotten better in life.
Yeah.
And then
that comes
fighting,
with age too.
But also fighting.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me get out here in a fight and try and rush this knockout.
Yeah.
I gas myself up. I lose.
Yeah.
I get knocked out because I get sloppy.
Yeah.
Kind of have patience.
Yeah.
So it's like, like martial arts. So many people think that it's just let me choke you, let me punch you. On a very small scale, yes.
Yeah.
But the lessons that you will learn about life on the mats, unfathomable.
Yeah.
Like it'll teach you who you are. It'll teach you who you're not. It'll teach you what you need to work on,
where your breaking points are at,
what you're good at. Like, and then the only way to truly be successful in life is to have consistency and accountability.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I've got to consistently show up and put forth effort. And then I've got to have honest accountability as to where I'm at and what it's going to take to attain what I want to attain.
And that's even if you're a hobbyist.
That's anything.
Yeah.
That's, I heard it about 6 to 8 years ago. It was a motivational speech on YouTube. Art Williams, just do it. It literally, when I heard that, it changed my train of thought. And he says, like, the difference between a $50,000 a year and a $500,000 a year. On the outside, they're the same individual. They got the same job, same car, same house, same pretty wife, same family. What's the difference? And he's like, the $500,000 a year individual, he pays the price a little bit more. He sacrifices for the company a little bit more. He believes in the vision a little bit more. He just shows up and continues to put a little bit more. And he's like, the main thing that he's learned in business and life is that the smart individuals always try and find an easier and a quicker way. So they never really put forth the fucking effort, the consistency. So they never really attain what they truly could attain if they just get off their fucking ass and do something.
Yeah.
But it's usually the person with a little bit less sense.
A little bit not as smart.
But he continues to show the fuck up. And he attains what these other individuals are not willing to attain.
Yeah.
And that's the real reality. It's like,
I feel like I should be making $500,000 because I'm dumb, dude.
Well, there's like a Albert Einstein. I'm pretty certain it's Albert Einstein, but he says everybody's a genius. But if you judge a goldfish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid.
Oh shit!
Oh golly!
So it's like like
find
everybody's. You got to find your light. Like you got to figure out what is your $1 million talent.
Yeah.
To quote Steve Harvey, he talks about like the first time he realized that comedy was his gift, he went to this like stand-up mic event and he won it. Like he signed up, wasn't supposed to be doing it till the next week. And then he had just lost his job, put like his last $50 to sign up or some shit. And then they had somebody no show and they called him up. And like, he goes up there, he wins the mic night, and he was crying on the way home. And he's telling the girl that drove him there, she's like, "Why the fuck are you crying, dog? You only won $50." And he's like, "No, this is my calling. This is what I'm meant to do." And he said, I don't think he lost his job before that, but he went home and quit his job after that. And everybody's like, "You're stupid. Why the hell are you quitting your job? You only won $50." And like,
he's like, "I just know
now,
what this
now
is." Yeah.
Steve Harvey is Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
and
how long we been going?
Hour 26.
God dang.
Probably
dude.
about an hour and 15, really.
Yeah, but well, we all know that Billy can talk for 3 hours, and if you don't already feel motivated, you're not going to feel motivated.
That's true.
Billy, man, we appreciate you coming on every time. I know your life is busy, and the fact that you would even take the time and come on here and chill out with us for a few minutes and talk is unmarked. We appreciate it, bro. We really do. We really, really, really do. So at the end of these things, we give everybody a few minutes to shout out anybody they want to shout out. So go ahead and do that. Look at that camera over there and shout out whoever you'd like to shout out.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank my wife and my daughter. I sacrifice a lot away from time, to do different things. Like, tomorrow I got to take a 12-hour trip to go get a damn big ass fan, literally, for the gym. But my wife and my daughter, they sacrifice a lot for me. My wife, she also works for A&F. My team, Chattanooga MMA College, I've built a great group of men, women, children. We all help each other. We're a family. And we're all striving. I tell everybody after every event, when one wins, we all win. When one loses, we all learn. So like, we're not trying to judge any individual. We're trying to help each other better ourselves. I'd like to thank any sponsors, past, present, or future, for, A&F or the gym. Y'all's contributions have helped the gym grow, the show grow. Like, we wouldn't be able to put on the different events that we do, the production that we do, give the atmosphere that we do if it wasn't for you guys. And then lastly, you know, man, glory to God. Like I wouldn't be here like if I didn't spend that time in isolation myself and ask God, like, hey, what can I do to change my life and everybody around me? And here we are.
Listening is a big thing too, bro.
Yeah. And then at the end of the show, we tell everybody we love them. You don't have to, but we always do.
Oh, I love you guys.
We love y'all.
Love y'all.
So